Hello and welcome to the Frostbites podcast. My name is Minna and I'm coming to you from Finland. This is my podcast about knitting and other crafty things. Today is the 24th of June. It's Midsummer Day and as of luck we have a beautiful sunny day today. It's been quite cold. It's been a bit rainy as well, and next week it's supposed to be rainy too. So I'm really enjoying this beautiful weather we have today. It's partly cloudy, so I'm not sure how it will affect the lighting on this episode, but I hope that it's okay. I'm here in the countryside today. I came yesterday and I've been enjoying the peace and quiet that we have here. It's about 150 kilometers from home, south, and this is where I filmed my first episode. So this is the farmhouse where my father grew up in, and it is now our holiday house. There are a couple of farmers in the neighborhood who have been driving their tractors back and forth today, so I hope that it will not get too noisy. And you can probably hear all the birds singing at the moment as well, which is quite nice, I think. On today's episode I have a couple of finished objects, some works in progress, and I will do my sweater review today. So let's get on with it. The first finished object I'm wearing, as you can see, it's my boxy sweater. I finished it last weekend, I think, soon after I filmed my last episode. It is a design by Johi Locatelli. Most of you have probably seen or even knitted yourself the sweater. It's a very wide and loose sweater, really easy to wear, and I just love how it turned out. I used La Bien Amé's twist sock yarn, which is merino and nylon blend. It's really soft. I have a very sensitive skin, but this is one of the few garments that I can wear next to skin. It's a speckled yarn, and I talked on my last episode about how I was alternating the skeins because I had one skein which was a bit darker than the others. So if you want to hear all the details, you can check my last episode. I was a bit worried that the transition to the darkest skein would be too radical, but I think it turned out quite nice. I have the darker bit here on my shoulders and it goes lighter towards the hem. I think I did it pretty much according to the pattern. I didn't do a gauge swatch because it's a very loose sweater and I pretty much have an idea what my gauge is with fingering yarn and 4mm needles. I think the pattern called for 3.5mm needles, but I like my knitting is quite tight, so I decided to go up a needle size. I think this is going to be my favorite sweater for the summer. I'm also wearing my old project, finished object, which is also by Johi. This is the Broken Wings shawl. I knitted it last summer. I made it in Elsa wool, which is 100% Cormo wool from America. I got it from a yarn swap or something like that a while back from Olivia, who is this handmade life on Instagram, and it is the softest yarn ever, and I really am hoping to order some more and maybe knit a sweater in this yarn. I'm starting to lean towards natural or non-superwash yarns lately, and I think when I'm going to the Jyväskylä Knit Festival I'm going to search for more natural or untreated yarns. It's a bit chilly still, so I really have to wear this scarf. I really like this shawl because it's a fairly small in size, and it's a very nice summer shawl to wear on a bit chillier day or in the evenings when the sun is going down. My next finished object are my monkey socks by Cookie A. It's a lace sock with a lace panel going all around the cuff, and then the lace panel continues on top of the foot. Very easy lace pattern. I highly recommend it. You can find it for free on knitty.com. I knit these in Skein Yarns BFL sock, which is BFL nylon blend. It's a variegated yarn in different shades of green, and I'm really surprised how easy the lace pattern was. It looks more complicated than what it is. I already started a second pair, which I will show you in a minute. I did a heel flap and gusset. My heel flap is a bit different from the pattern. I decided to do the garter edge here on both edges of the heel flap, but other than that I did the sock as per the pattern. Very nice socks, and they fit very well, so I'm also very happy with how these turned out. Then on to my works in progress. I'm not going to show you all of my works in progress because I showed them in my last episode, and with most of them I haven't done any progress at all. Let's start with this East or West pullover, which is a design by Joji Locatelli from the Interpretations 4 collection. And I haven't done a lot since my last episode, but a little bit. Here is the progress keeper. I was here the last time, so last night I started knitting on this again, and I am almost finished with the first sleeve. It's an interesting construction. You first knit the front and back centerpiece, and then you pick up the stitches on the edges and start working from the edge upwards or sideways, and then you use the Kitchener stitch to close the side seam, and then you start knitting in the round again for the sleeves. And there will be a ripped cuff and also a ripped hem. It looks quite tiny at the moment, but it will grow a bit with the ribbing in the hem, and also hopefully with a bit of blocking it will stretch out a little bit. And I'm using the Knitlops Lair Tuulen Tytär yarn, which is 100% superwash merino, and I have 3 different colors. This hot pink and then 2 different shades of grey. And my other whip is my new pair of monkey socks that I started as soon as I had finished the green ones. So here is the first one. I'm using the leftover yarn from my boxy sweater and some leftover from a sock set that I bought from Edinburgh from La Bien-Aimée booth. I have knitted 1 pair of socks using the mini set for, or the mini skein for heel, cuff and toes, and I'm doing the same thing with this sock, except for not with the toes. And the other sock is here. I have just started working on the heel flap. I have done the first row of it. And here are the yarns. Oops. Oh no, the cake is really a mess. But here are the colors that I'm using, or the yarns. Then I have some yarn acquisitions. My friend Paula went to Florida last week, or a couple of weeks ago, and she brought me some yarn. And here they are. 4 beautiful skeins. I think these are all superwash merino and nylon. Well, this is with nylon, and so is this one. And these are just 100% superwash merino. So the first skein is Sweet George's Tough Love Sock in color Orchid. And it is 388 meters per 115 grams. So it's a bit thicker than what you usually get for fingering weight. I was interrupted by the neighbor who just left. Okay, moving on. So this yarn is the Fiber Seed Sprout Sock. It is 90-10 merino and nylon, and it is 440 meters per 135 grams, and the colorway is called Beach Party. It's American wool, and Then these two skeins are both Bar Yarns La Jolla, 100% superwash merino, 115 grams per no 400 yards per 115 grams. And this colorway is called Wild Thang, and this is Strawberry Shortcake. I think at least some of these will end up. There comes the neighboring farmer with his tractor. It's very busy today. I think the farmer is collecting some feed for his cattle. He's driving from early morning till almost midnight, back and forth to the field and back to his farm. So I think some of these yarns will end up being a shawl. Or something. Who knows? We'll see. Then I also got a couple of patterns from the yarn shop where Paula went. The yarn shop is called Roxy or Roxy's, and the first pattern is called Roxy's Everyday Lace Socks, which is written for Sweet George's Tough Love Sock yarn. The nice cabled sock pattern. And then the other one doesn't have a photo. It's a sea view hat. It's a lace hat. And I did see a photo of a sample that had been in the shop. So it's almost like a mystery pattern, because I can't remember anymore exactly what the hat looked like. And then on top of it all, I also received this cute little box for stitch markers, Roxy's yarns, and a little stitch marker, which is a spinning wheel. And that is from Mac Porter Farms. So I was pretty excited to get these yarns. Now there's a bee circling me. I hope it will fly off soon. And now we can move on to the sweater review. I have a pile of sweaters here, which I thought that I would go through. I will put the details about the yarns on the screen, because I can't remember all the details now. The first sweater is one of my favorite ones. This is the Reha sweater by Suvi Simola. And I think this is one of the first sweaters that I have knit for myself. I have used Pickles merino tweed yarn, which is a non-superwash yarn. Really nice, and with wear it gets softer and softer. It's a tweed yarn, so you get these little tweedy bits here and there. There is a little bit of peeling happening here, but you can't really see it because the yarn is a bit uneven. So I think the peeling just blends in, but you can see the peels when you look at it this way. I'm not sure if you can see them, but it doesn't show any other signs of wear, and I can't see that it hasn't peeled any more under the arms than anywhere else. And I have been using this a lot, especially on my skiing trips in winter. And I really like this yarn a lot, and I think I need to get some more. The Pickles Yarns is a yarn shop in Oslo, Norway, where I went to a couple of years ago, and I have ordered from them through mail as well. The yarn is, I think, a very affordable yarn, and at least to Finland, the yarn and the post came very quickly. I can highly recommend it. I think they have a good range of different kinds of bases. They have merino yarns, cotton wool, mohair. I've used a few different yarns from them and really have enjoyed knitting and wearing the garments. Then this sweater is the True Friend sweater by Veera Välimäki. I knitted it in Easy Knits yarn, which is an indie dyer based in the UK. I got the yarn from the Unravel Festival in Farningham about a year and a half ago. And this yarn has held up pretty well as well. There is a little bit of peeling here and there. Sorry, I had to check if I was still filming. So there is just a little bit of peeling here and there. I think it's an area where I've been wearing my bag across my shoulder, so it's been affected by friction. But other than that, I can't see any sign of peeling or anything else. On my sock review, I showed you a pair that I had knitted in this yarn as well. And I said that there was no damage anywhere, but pretty soon after I filmed the sock review extra episode, I found a hole in the heel, so I probably wouldn't suggest this yarn for socks if you want a long wearing long-lasting socks, but for a sweater I think it's perfect, and it's very soft too. Then we have my Radiate pullover, which is fairly new. I haven't worn this that much because I just finished it this springtime, and well, there is some pilling going on, so I think this yarn is a bit more delicate. It's Kettle Yarn Company's Islington DK. It's a silk blend, and I noticed that it started pilling already when I was working on it, when I was having it in my project bag. I have de-peeled it once. Here you can see a bit more peeling. I'm not sure if this is one of those yarn which peel at first, and then once you get rid of all the sort of the excess hair in it or fiber in it, it stops peeling. We'll have to wait and see. This one is my Imogen Tea by Carrie Bostic Hogue. This is a couple of years old, I think, and it's knit in Quince & Company's yarn. I forget which one. It's American wool, and also a little bit of peeling here and there. I can't remember that I don't think that I have de-peeled this one at all, and I've been wearing it for a couple of years, so I think it's a very good quality. Another Easy Knits sweater, I think. So the same yarn as in the True Friend sweater. This is the Breathing Space by Veera Välimäki. Almost forgot that name. And I would say that there is no sign of wear at all. And I have been wearing this quite a lot too. And then finally I have my Luotolainen fisherman sweater, the traditional sweater pattern from Hailuoto Island, which I have talked about in many episodes. And this is knit in 100% Finship wool, and it has peeled a little bit. I think this is about 3 years old now. A little bit of peeling in some parts, but these are the parts where there is more friction because I've been wearing or using a backpack or something else. It's usually at the back, so I'm assuming it's from carrying a backpack. And I was told that if you wear this sweater only with natural fibers, like if you have a coat over it and the lining is silk or cotton, it shouldn't peel at all, but as soon as you start wearing synthetics on top of it, it starts peeling. And I think that makes sense, because you get your clothes get very static when there is, the tractor comes again, another neighbor. So it really makes so busy today. So it really makes sense. If you only wear natural fibers, there is no static friction. I don't know what else to say. I haven't really had any catastrophes with my yarn choices. I have a sweater stone which I use for de-peeling sometimes, but I'm not too worried about peeling either. I think it is one of the characteristics of certain fibers, and it just shows that you have been wearing your sweater, which is why it was made for. I think as the traffic is starting to get more and more busy in this peaceful countryside, I think it's time to start wrapping up. Like I said, it's midsummer, and usually people go to their summer cottages in the countryside or by a lake or by the sea if they have a cottage, and the cities get emptier. We like to enjoy the nature and the nightless nights. Luckily, we don't have too many mosquitoes, at least in here, so it's nice to stay out, which is not the case every midsummer. I think a lot of knitting is going to happen in the next few days because it will be rainy, and I don't mind that at all. I should get started on my mom's cardigan. I have promised to knit her Houhi's design Sammal, which is a classic cardigan she designed for tuku wool, but I'm using a different yarn. And mom's birthday is only in January, so I'm not in a rush, but I want to get it started soon. It is about 2 weeks to the Jyväskylä Knit Festival where I'm going. I'm really looking forward to it. I've already started making plans on what I want to buy from there. I've been very good with my yarn purchases. I haven't bought anything except for the yarn that Paula brought me from America since Edinburgh Yarn Festival. And I have a gift voucher for our local yarn dyer, which I received for a birthday gift. So I will be using that probably after Jyväskylä, after I've seen what I will purchase there. And yeah, I'm just enjoying my holiday and having no obligations for a few weeks. I will probably have some time to film another episode in the near future, and I will definitely film something from the Knit Festival as well. So until next time, enjoy summer or enjoy winter if you're in the southern hemisphere. Stay warm and happy knitting. Bye!